Clavicular is actively destroying his life at this point. Like, yes, he's making a lot of money, and egregious, actually, amount of money. However, if you can't even live long enough to spend all the money you making or even do anything with all the money you making, what is the point of all of this? You know what I'm saying? He does all the looksmaxing. He's taking all these peptides. Still don't know what peptides are. Steroids. You feel me? Before he was even 18, he was taking steroids. Before he even got a chance to make his own testosterone, he was taking testosterone. It makes no sense. And then on top of that, you know, he was talking about how he takes meth in order to stay skinny. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't think it was actually meth. I think it was like some type of like Adderall type drug. But he was saying meth. Whatever, you know. But these are just some of the reasons that he is a very unlikable streamer to me in particular. I feel like he leads too many people astray. A lot of kids probably want to be just like him. However, he's doing all these terrible things and publicly telling them about all the terrible things that he's doing. You know, like The Rock. We all know The Rock takes steroids, but he never once just came out and said, I take steroids. You know what I'm saying? Even though at that point, you know, he's making it an unrealistic body standard and things of that nature. But whatever. You know what I'm saying? At least he's not getting kids on steroids early. But, yeah, I digress. Apparently, Clavicular is going through another issue right now. And the title of this video is Clavicular is realizing he destroyed his life by Atozi. So, it's seeming like Clavicular is finally realizing that what he is doing is self-destruction. I know he said he doesn't care about living a long life, but it's all fun and games until you're 35 and you need help for somebody. You need help from somebody to wipe your ass. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, things ain't funny no more. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, you probably should have been a little more careful. You know what I'm saying? So, type shit. But anyway, let's continue. Let's get into the vid, man.
Things just keep getting worse for the now infamous IRL streamer known as Clavicular, because he was just charged for the time he live streamed himself mag dumping into an alligator back in March. And that is just like one of multiple legal battles that he's currently facing right now. And despite settling on one of these—
That was actually very stupid. I watched the video. Somebody else shot at the alligator one time. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, I don't know why Clavicular has a firearm. You know what I'm saying? He got a little bit of autism. You know, he a little autistic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I trust him with a firearm, just walking around doing whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, the dude shoots at the alligator, it's already dead. And then Clavicular decides to stand up on stream. They're on like a boat. Stand up on the boat and go, boom. Like, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Charges, he's still so far from being in the clear. And honestly, we've been watching this very slow train wreck for a while now, but for each day that goes by, it seems like the train is slowly speeding up towards its inevitable collision. Because at this point, the dude has made his life infinitely harder than what it has to be. Because in addition to being banned on YouTube, he's also still has an ongoing civil lawsuit over alleged battery and fraud, a possible, you know, county battery case now due to the fight allegations. And now, on top of everything, the alleged reckless firearm discharge where he mag dumped into an alligator. We have to say alleged because it hasn't been proven in a court of law, but unfortunately for Clavicular, he did live stream himself doing it. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going, well, the alligator might have not been alive. Apparently, that doesn't matter too much for Florida. And then you also have a bunch of people claiming that he was also firing at a drone in that same stream. So, that also is illegal, and I don't know where that's going. Regardless, none of it's good, because that's just like way too many charges for one single person to get in, what, less than a year? The dude's essentially been relevant for, again, less than a year. And this is all while he's supposed to be getting sober and also taking better care of himself, because, you know, he also live streamed himself ODing. So maybe a reasonable person would think it might be a good idea to take a little bit of a break, put the camera down for a couple weeks, reset, especially since he says that he struggles to stream and interact socially, sober.
But yeah, man, I ain't gonna be doing any more substances for a little while, hopefully for forever.
But what does he do? Absolutely not that, because at this point, it seems like Clavicular has no choice but to continue the show.
As you guys know, I'm quite brutal without it. So that's, I think I have to figure something else out.
But I mean, hey, if you ask me, that kind of sounds like the definition of what he calls gesture maxing, because the dude is actively destroying his own life for the sake of his own content. But regardless, I mean, I have no doubts his legal fees are really starting to pile up, and if he continues to get in trouble or banned from more social media websites, he could lose potentially all of his income, or at least his main source, which it seems like he already has. Because the dude for a while now has essentially had a mandatory hour of spinning slots on his stream.
So we got 1 hour gamble, then we out. Gamble than IRL. All right, that's the difference. That's the difference between us and YTG.
But in my last video, we talked about the speculation online that he might have actually lost his stake deal since he canceled his stake leaderboards in his Discord. But I mean, honestly, I don't know why he would still be gambling on stake on stream if they weren't still paying him, unless he lost like the main aspect of his deal and now he's just running off of affiliates. I don't know how the deals are structured, but I'm doubtful that he lost that deal now. But regardless, I mean, the dude is just so lost for content at this point that he just wants his fans to come up with ideas for him while he gets facials and recycles the very tired format of bringing on random dudes to his live stream to, I guess, dehumanize or speed date OF girls.
Like, what is this? This is like very you do know who you're speaking to right now, innit?
I feel like you don't know who you're speaking.
I'm speaking to an I know exactly who I'm speaking to. What are you talking about?
I know, but like,
he knows you. All of them in there have to you or for.
Oh, he's sweating. He's sweating his ass off. Look at them armpits. Oh. Let me move this. Hold up. Boom. Look at them armpits. Sweaty armpits. Nigga over here talking shit. Sweaty armpits, bro. Like, come on, brother. Relax. Let's take a step back. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to go in there and just start spazzing. You feel me? She's not gonna let you crack. She would never let you crack. You good, bro. Just relax, bro. Just go over there, try to do a little speed date, bro. I don't know why she's there. She knew what was about to happen from all this, just from Clavicular's content. But anyway.
About to at some point.
That's
we know
fine.
who we're talking
Hey,
to.
don't disrespect me. I have not souped that law.
I feel like we both this into existence. She's here right now, innit? Something had to have happened.
You're much fatter in person.
What?
You're much fatter in person.
Fatter?
Yeah.
Well, get a charge back.
What kind of things are you into?
I don't really want to talk to you after you said that. That was so mean.
But he gets a pass. Like, he's giving you like millions, right?
Yep.
Because it seems like the format is like they just bring up a dude, they sit him there next to an OF girl, and the OF girl rejects him, and they're like, why would you reject him? And then they're like, yeah, because he's a normal dude. And then he's like, well, if you mogged and you were rich, you would get her. Yeah, he's done that so many times now that even his own viewers and his chat have started to become pretty disenchanted with how short and flat out boring his streams feel. But I guess right now he's probably a little bit more worried about if he's going to be spending time behind bars than his hair or jawline. But even though we covered him like a week ago when it became public knowledge that he had a civil lawsuit brought against him, allegedly for battery and fraud, believe it or not, there's more. Because today we're talking about an even newer legal problem that's arisen for Clap. You know, the one that we all predicted as soon as the clip came out, because everyone saw that was a terrible idea. So obviously, as many people expected, he was officially charged for his unlawful discharge of a firearm at the wildlife sanctuary on March 26th. And if you didn't know, alligator fishing is extremely regulated. And how would I know that? Well, I have a southern grandpa and I do go down to the south quite often to go fishing. I was actually fishing there yesterday. I just flew back home today. But yesterday I was actually out in Lake Eufaula and I caught a few catfish. Look, here's a catfish I caught yesterday. It was kind of cool. Caught it off of a pole on a boat. Did we see a whole bunch of alligators? You bet. Did we mess with any alligators? Absolutely not. Because if you want to hunt alligators in Florida, Georgia, or Alabama, it's not easy because you have to do it through a public draw. It's highly regulated and they actually have a lottery-based system just to be able to actually hunt alligators. So according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation, every year about 6,000 alligator harvest permits are issued through 3 random draws.
I don't even know, like, why would you even want to hunt alligators? Like, why do you even care? Like, what's the purpose of that? Is my thought. You have to go through a draw, a lottery system, all these extra steps to go hunt alligators? Just don't want to kill alligators, maybe. I don't know. You feel me? Okay, and maybe it's just them like, oh, alligators can kill people. Let me get my lick back. It's not really, it sounds kind of odd to me.
And a final leftover face if needed. And I would go out on a limb and say it's pretty safe to say that Clavicular didn't go through one of those lotteries and win that. Now, a lot of people are arguing, oh, but the gator, it could have not been alive. Apparently that doesn't matter too much. So regardless, I guess when the Florida Wildlife Commission tweeted they were actually looking into it, they were really looking into it. Because if you remember in statements made by Clavicular's lawyers, they kind of try to like pass the blame off to the guides he was with, saying they told him it was fine to do it, as if that makes him exempt from any consequences. But the 2 other men there were also charged in this, so I bet they're very happy that he live streamed this to the world, because I feel like, unfortunately, if he didn't live stream this, no one would have known about it.
2 other people that were with him, including fellow kick streamer Cuban Tarzan, are also being hit with the same charge.
But he also live streamed his very questionable technique with a firearm. I don't know why you would ever close your eyes when firing one, but hey, I was about to be like, whatever floats your boat, but no, please don't do that. But speaking of legalities, under Florida law, illegally discharging a firearm in public can lead to imprisonment of less than 1 year and $1,000 fine. So that's what Clavicular is currently looking at, it seems, since according to court documents, his only current charge is a misdemeanor discharging a firearm in public. And of course, we'll have to wait until the scheduled arraignment at the 20th to find out exactly what the official charges are. You know, like if they decide to add anything after reviewing evidence, like the hours upon hours of content that he live streamed that day. And then I guess we'll also find out if he pleads guilty or not. Something tells me though, he's probably gonna fight this, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Dude will probably be fighting this tooth and nail, or veneer and acrylic, as the looksmaxers might be doing. Anything to save himself from the jail time, because if he goes to jail, that's gonna be really bad for business, because obviously he live streams for money. If the live stream is off, he stops making money, especially after the YouTube ban. So anything that keeps him from live streaming is extremely bad for his career. And then of course, speaking of distractions from live streaming, all this also comes immediately after he was hit with that civil lawsuit that I covered just a week ago. And that was filed by the female looksmaxer, Alexandra Mendoza, at the end of April. And I'm not gonna go through all the details again, but in short, it does not look good for him. Because again, his main problem is he live streamed himself doing half of what she's alleging. So that's going to be really hard to fight in court. But possibly even more sad than I guess the legal stuff for Clavicular is just the...
I don't even know what that's about. I see one of the words was blurred out when it said something assault. So I hope it wasn't the, actual. I hope it wasn't actual assault. I need to look into that. I need to see that. If y'all know, drop down a comment. Let me know like if that's what it is. But I'm definitely gonna look into that one. Sheesh.
Private falling outs that have been reportedly happening left and right because of his antics. His own family is now pretty much snubbing him. His PR rep quit. And at this point, a lot of his viewers are starting to get really fed up with him. So, I mean, he's been forced to, I guess, scrape the bottom of the barrel, but we all know that even the shocking OF speed dating content does get old. Viewers want more, but I'm not sure if he has anything else to give right now. Because it seems like it's a little bit risky for him to IRL stream right now, as he just keeps on getting more and more charges. But we'll find out a whole lot more information on the 20th, so I'll keep tabs on that. And yes, there was some news. And I was in Norway celebrating the 17th of May while it all dropped, so I held this video back for a couple days so I could make this little add-on segment. But the other day, Clavicular and his friend, they went to court and they settled and actually got probation for half a year, which honestly is pretty much the best case scenario for Clavicular. As I even said in my last video on him, the dude has a whole bunch of money to spend on some really good attorneys, and clearly he did so. But the bigger thing everyone's talking about is how the judge apparently looked better than Clavicular. Yeah, that just shows how cooked we are, because like little did I know, there's this whole, looksmax rating scale, and his audience is trying to use this looksmax rating scale to try to counter the online narrative and say that Clavicular in fact scores higher on the score than the judge. Yes, this is what we're doing right now, I guess. But the largest problem I have with the whole looksmaxing community is they're making a lot of things that I would consider self-harm. They're throwing it under the blanket term of looksmaxing. That's a slippery slope. And what is it all for? To OD live on stream? Like, really? Is that what we're doing? To get attention from a bunch of women that they themselves claim are shallow and vain? Unfortunately, though, that's exactly what these lead influencers in this...
Bro, I've realized Clavicular, everything he stands for is weird, and like, I saw him in a clip and he was trying to get with a girl. He was trying to talk to her, and Shorty did not want to get with him. Shorty was, borderline chop shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's almost like you're doing all this, like you're destroying yourself just to get mid bitches. Like, at least if you were getting like bad bitches, at least it make a little bit of sense. But you doing all this, you're killing yourself to get mid bitches. Like that, those are the bitches you destroying yourself for, bro. What is all of this for? There's no point in none of this. You know what I'm saying? And like, anyway, yeah, bro. He's just weird, bro. I think he's autistic, bro. I genuinely think he's autistic, and he drinks and does all this stuff to act more normal, and it's kind of like he's just not normal though. You know what I mean?
Community are. At the end of the day, I just don't see the risk to reward here. Putting all of these very questionable substances in your body, all in the goal to ascend, or whatever they call it. When have you ascended enough? That's the real...
It's fuck all that. Like, you're doing all this just to look good for other dudes, bro. Shit don't make sense. Shit don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not getting bad bitches. You feel me? You're doing this for mid bitches and niggas, though. Just dudes. That's crazy.
Question. Because if you are constantly going out of your way to continuously look better, well, the question is, what looks better? Well, that's arbitrary. And that's a slippery slope. That's how you get into the territory of, the Pump It guys. Actually, they're called the Bogendorf twins.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how you get into this territory. And then on top of that, like, what do they do after they ascend? Only chase pleasures? Again, that's a slippery slope because that's how you OD on stream. But like, what shocked me about the whole narrative around clavicular overdosing within the whole looksmaxing community was the whole, oh, well, if he passed away, at least he passed away mogging. What? Excuse me. That would be a tragedy and would absolutely not be worth it whatsoever. I'm just kind of shocked about the whole like idiocracy around all of this because if clavicular existed, what, 15 to 20 years ago, he would just be this bizarre character on Jersey Shore. But now, he's selling a course and he's actually a role model to the younger generation, which is honestly pretty alarming. But I mean, regardless, clavicular has been famous for something like 6 months and has already gotten into this much trouble. So the odds are really not in his favor when it comes to not violating that probation. But other than that, I'll see you guys next video. Peace.
Sheesh, man. Yeah, bro, clavicular needs to figure his life out. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel like you kind of got to feel bad for him just a little bit, even though I think he's just very autistic and like because of that he's, you know, he just doesn't care. You feel me? So there's really no, I feel like there's no reason to feel bad for him, but also at the same time, it's like he also has to be very insecure. Like you have to be so overly insecure to be doing all the things that clavicular is doing, like because there's no purpose, no reason for it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just feel bad for him.
Where's the charger?
I'm not sure. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if nobody told you today, I love you. Peace.